Throughout history, a lack of open-mindedness has always been an issue when it comes to human relations. Tolerance rarely seems to be our strong suit. Why is it we keep these barricades up? What benefit do we have from lowering them? So, out of curiosity, we made use of the Erasmus project.
At first, we needed to form the groups that were responsible for carrying out the project. We met with our collaborators through a video call, and we had no idea what to expect, making it a slightly awkward experience. Since we didn't know anything about the people on the other side of the screen, we had to meet them in person. And after a year of preparation,
Da budem iskrena, imala sam malo predrasude o tome da su Nemci malo hladniji ljudi od nas i da će biti manje gostoprimljivi nego što smo mi prema njima, ali iskreno čim smo stigli nekako su mi baš promenili mišljenje jer svi su onako fini, neki pričaju srpski, lako je da se komunicira s njima, pokazali su nam, bili su mnogo domaćinski nastrojeni.
Pa nismo znali kako će sve to da se odvije pošto dolazimo u drugačiju sredinu. Bili smo zabrinuti da li će sve da ide tokom koji smo zamislili pre polaska. Bilo je tu možda nekih stvari koje su nas malo iznenadili, ali smo lepo prihvaćeni i pozitivno iskustvo.
Also am Anfang war ich mich nicht so halt ganz sicher, was mich hier halt so erwartet. Aber ich mag es halt, wie wir arbeiten. Unsere Teamarbeit mag ich sehr. Und ja, ich bin sehr, sehr positiv überrascht.
Ja, ich war sehr aufgeregt und sehr erfreut über das Erasmus-Team. Es hat mich interessiert, wer die Schüler sind, die uns besuchen. Und ja, natürlich, ich hatte auch Ängste, ob sich die Teams finden, ob wir gut zusammenpassen. Ja, also ich habe mich gefreut auf die neuen Erfahrungen und auf die ersten Treffen.
Well, at first I didn't have many expectations, but I think that I'm kind of guilty of having like prejudices. And the thing is that I thought that Serbian students would be like a little bit like closed off or maybe more introverted, or that they maybe wouldn't want to interact with us or something. I kind of have that prejudice that they would be introverted.
Prije nego što sam vas upoznala, prvo moje mišljenje je bilo kako ćemo komunicirati, u smislu da li ćemo se poklopiti što se tiče da li ćemo moći da budemo prijatelji ili da li se kontakt može uopšte stvoriti između nas. Pa prvi utisak kad sam vas srela je nismo odmah počeli da pričamo, ali kako smo išli da se vozimo S-Bahnom i tako to, sve smo više i više ulazili u konverzaciju i sve smo više i više bili otvoreni jedni prema drugima i da.
Not at all. I'm teacher of the intensive class and I have students from all over the world, so it's nothing that can surprise me.
we arrived in Ofenbaha, a city right next to Frankfurt, one of the most culturally diverse cities throughout the whole of Europe, known for its many different architectural styles all in one place. Although we had arrived late in the evening, we got to meet our hosts the very next morning. This is where we found out a lot of them already spoke Serbian, so we felt almost at home. That would have been if the city itself wasn't completely different.
Our first destination together was already something we had never been to, a carnival. The carnival is very well known in Germany. We were there for Carnival Sunday, so that means that you have to be in a costume to catch candy and have lots of fun.
The moving sculptures and balloons actively make fun of current and past events and political figures. After being hit in the head by candy multiple times, we decided to use our free time and explore the city center and its surroundings. Every street looked different from the last, so it didn't get boring at any moment. Since schools were closed because of the carnival, we couldn't visit them yet. So instead of just sitting around, we had one of our newly met friends take us through some interesting and historical parts of town. And then later, we went bowling and took the opportunity to get to know some more of the people we would be working with. And the next day, we finally got to go to the school and meet everyone involved. Here, our job was to explore the school and see how things differ from ours back home. They even let us enter some of the classrooms that they thought we don't have. And indeed, for most of them, we don't. While the slight awkwardness of meeting someone for the first time didn't fade away entirely, we were met with a warm welcome as conversation started to slowly flow and more ideas sparked as we continued talking. This created a very interesting and specific scene and atmosphere. Everyone gets thrown into this situation and out of their comfort zone where they have to find a middle ground to stand on. Topics ranged from the cultural differences we noticed while staying to basic small talk. Now that everyone found the group that they would be working with, work began. This was a good opportunity to make a progress report and look over everything we've done so far.
It took some time, but we were finally starting to open up to each other and speak more freely. Everyone we met had a different cultural background, which was a nice conversation starter. The feeling was similar to the childhood experience of visiting the friends of your parents and being left to play with their kids, whom you had never met before. Nevertheless, progress was being made and personalities started to show.
So, we took advantage of the situation and carried out interviews in order to see how everyone was feeling about their first impressions. So that by the end of the collaboration, we could see if anything had changed after 2 weeks in total together. After all was said and done at the school, we didn't have much time left in our trip, which meant our last 2 days had a very cramped schedule. So, we took a tour of Frankfurt to speed things up and see as many things as possible. We first met our tour guide at the Opera House, a massively beautiful building, first built in 1880, destroyed in World War II, and later rebuilt and reopened. Then, we went around to important spots around the city center, such as the House of Goethe, the Fresgas Street, St. Paul's Church, and Rummerberg.
We also found the Boat City 7 Iron Love Bridge, where couples put logs on the bridge railing to symbolize their eternal love. We ended the day by visiting a Städel museum where an exhibition was hosted.
On the last day, we took time to prepare and come to face the fact that even though we would miss our newly met friends, it wouldn't be long before we got to meet them again.
Postoji jedna mnogo lepa priča o toleranciji Artura Schopenhauera. Govori se o bodljikavim prasićima koji, kada im je hladno, trebalo bi da budu jedno pored drugog. Međutim, ako se suviše približe jedno drugom, onda počinju međusobno da se bodu. I to ih boli. A s druge strane, ako se suviše udalje, onda im je hladno. Pa je tolerancija u stvari prava mera, da budemo blizu jedno drugom, ali ne suviše da uđemo u tuđu intimu, da pomognemo jedno drugom i da budemo jedni drugima od koristi. Tolerancija je nešto što nam omogućava da pružimo šansu drugim ljudima koji su sasvim različiti od nas, da nam budu prijatelji, da nam budu blizu, da nam možda pomognu, a i da mi pomognemo drugima. Tako da je priča o toleranciji nešto što bi trebalo da nam bude stalno na pameti, naročito nama koji smo preživeli recimo ratove 90-ih i gde je netolerancija i mržnja bila osnovna neka karakteristika i pečat života mnogih ljudi u našoj zemlji.
It's especially interesting how this example applies to our situation and goal. Just like Porcupines, there was a clear cultural wall between us and we could only understand each other to a certain level. Of course, not only because of the language barrier, but also because our perspectives on the world and how it should work. Our ideas of life, while not too far apart, are still different. But now that we are at least somewhat knew each other, we rightly assumed the trip to Serbia would probably go smoother. Some were a bit worried since Serbia is a more homogeneous country, so we didn't know what kind of reactions foreigners would elicit. But that quickly faded away since it seemed like everyone felt at home. Now, everyone seemed more willing to see new things and learn something. It almost suddenly felt more comfortable. And so we began. Again.
First, we went to the gymnasium to catch up and pick up where we left off. We showed them around, and then dance.
Dule, molim te, jedno medeno kolo. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In the meantime, looking at our previous trip to Germany, we realized how little time we had to finish. So, we decided to speed up our pace and try to do as much as possible to use our time. We went to the monastery in Sukovo, so that the visitors could see what the values of Orthodox culture are, with the monastery being special due to it featuring a fresco of the Virgin Mary with wings. Right after, we visited the staple and symbol of Pirot, the Calais fortress, and the archaeological museum right next to it. These places give an insight into the history of the city, and the part some of us enjoyed the most was a charity concert the school held that same evening. The concert was supposed to imitate the atmosphere of an old tavern, known in Serbia as kafana, specifically Skadarlija, located in Belgrade originally.
We went to Pirot's local television network station. Here we all saw what it looks like to work there. Some students gave interviews and were broadcasted on the news that evening.
Good morning, my name is Claudia and I am new in Pirot. I am visiting and I come from Germany.
Right after, we went straight to the other symbol of the city, the Museum of Little Rista. It was a lot of fun getting into the specifics of the room designs and the influences of the culture at that time, as well as the cultural significance of the museum for the entire region.
But all this modern furniture, it is actually from the beginning of the higher Mindelo. So for women not to sit for a very long time, not to drink.
One of the most memorable trips was our visit to the Tupavica waterfall. This one was especially important since this region of Serbia is well known for its beautiful nature park on the Balkan Mountains. The surprisingly long walk to the waterfall gave us crucial bonding time, and the visitors got to see a lot of new things that they had never seen before, further emphasizing the differences in perspective and worldview between the two groups. And so, the next day at school, we finally did that second round of interviews.
Yes, that Serbia really like to share their traditional traditional dances or also of all the traditions, and they are very kind here, and nobody really cares how you're gonna look or something like that.
I mean, something that was totally different for me was that people were more open, which really surprised me because they're really open-minded, they're really warm, and they're really extroverted. Which, in comparison to Germany, like people talk less or like avoid speaking a lot, but it really surprised me.
I would say the nature, because in Germany we have like parks, but the people walk always past and they don't have time to see them, or they don't give many attention at that. But here I saw most people went there for walking or for seeing it.
So probably the dogs on the streets. We don't have that many dogs. Like if we have, but not that many.
Only the culture. I mean, I see many dogs are on the streets. I learn some dances, much about the culture. I see for the first time of my life was it Wasserfall? Waterfall. And for the first time of my life I was stuck in an elevator.
Well, I really enjoyed the trip. I could say that Serbia has treated me great, honestly, but I kind of regret not trying more food because I've heard a lot about those flat sausages, and I also heard about hamburgers here being larger than in Germany, so I kind of regret not trying those out, but I really like Pirot.
Yes, my expectations were filled, and it was better than I expect. And also the trips that we're doing were very beautiful, and the teachers really showed us Serbia very well.
Yes, they were. I liked the dancing because we were dancing the traditional Serbia dance, and I liked the dogs, but to be honest, I am a little afraid of them. So I needed to learn with Adam to run away.
За sada mogu da kažem da sam prilično zadovoljan odvijanjem celog projekta, razvojem saradnje koju imamo sa partnerima, naročito zbog toga što naša partnerska škola predstavlja jednu mešovitu školu u kojoj imate veći broj različitih kultura koje su već nekako međusobno povezane i smatram da je to jedan veliki plus i da je naše učešće i naše povezivanje sa njima samo jedan dodatak toj nekoj multikulturalnosti u ovom globalnom vremenu.
One has to be more social and everything, because to not be so stuck on their phones and everything, because when I came here everyone was hanging out with each other, everyone was open, and it was honestly great.
Nicht wirklich.
Not really.
With time, we were getting ever closer to each other and slowly getting comfortable with showing our personal quirks and flaws without a fear of being judged or giving a bad impression.
Lekcije koje smo naučili na ovom projektu jesu pre svega o značaju multikulturalnosti, značaju tolerancije u ovome, manje više o značaju same multikulturalnosti, međutim mnogo više o značaju povezivanja različitih ljudi u ovakvim vremenima.
There's a certain bond that is formed between people when they share experiences, especially when they know that their time together is limited.
Yes, the dancing. I know now how to dance, and I learned some words in Serbia.
And so, finally, we could see the end creeping over the horizon. The slow realization that this really was it, and that we didn't have much time, and didn't have much left to do or say. We really were like the Porcupines Schopenhauer was talking about. Although at first we stung each other, we slowly learned to lower our quills.
So, finally, we could hug.
And when we did, we couldn't let go.
Osmeh!